Good afternoon and happy Wednesday. So, how are you managing your time? And how is your time? I hope it's good. I hope you're getting on with things that you want to do. And I just wanted to talk about a few people said to me recently that they don't have enough time and they don't have the time to do the things that they want to do. So, Nightingale said, we can't manage time, we can only manage our activities. And when you think about it, that's so true, isn't it? The truth is we're just filling in our time with activities that might not be so productive to what we really want. Have you ever heard someone who's retired say, I don't have enough time? But actually, they really do. They've just convinced themselves and told themselves over and over that they don't. That might be something that they've said for many, many years, but it's funny how we tell ourselves that, and it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, we don't allow ourselves to just be, we don't allow ourselves to just stop and catch up to ourselves, right? So our repetitive thoughts create our feelings, which in turn create fixed habits. And these are called beliefs. And then we act and behave accordingly. And then we take action in that direction. And that obviously creates a reaction. And we attract back to us people, situations, circumstances. And they might be not what we really want. And then we have that not enough time. So instead, we can change our thoughts and direct them towards what we really do want and change our perception. So we can go against the usual mind chatter of, I don't have enough time, and say, I have enough time to do the things that I need to do. And I have more than enough time to do the things that I want to do. So instead, we can come from that perception. And once we keep telling ourselves this, we start to see where we can lay boundaries for ourselves. Maybe a co-worker is always asking things from us, or the children are always vying for your attention. So what I like to do is write out the night before a few things that I want to achieve the next day. And they have to be in line with my goal or what I want to achieve. So what we're doing here is we're creating order in the mind so it doesn't run away with itself and hijack our best plans. We've laid these plans with determination, and they're ultimately are what are gonna keep us going forward, right? And we follow them. We have to follow them because we'll just be unproductive and unfulfilled. What's the point in that? So when you're in this relaxed place from this perception, if something comes into my day that's not in line, then I politely say, well, that's not possible for today. And that goal, that should come from your purpose. And I wrote this about something like this in my Facebook group. What is your purpose? Why does having a purpose matter? Well, if you don't have a purpose, you're drifting and you're wandering sideways and you're like a ball in a pinball machine. You're just bouncing around, not really going anywhere. Maybe you quite like that. But sometimes you need something to just light you up inside, and that's purpose. So ask yourself, what am I doing right now? What is it worthy of my time? So what do you love to do? And what are you good at? I wrote an article on leadership quite a while ago, and but when we think of leadership, we think in terms of public figures or leading companies and teams. But leadership can be parent in your family. This is about setting the right example and attitude in your company, or, it's inclusion, collaboration. And the most important thing about leadership is leading yourself. And that is the most powerful leadership of all, because when you lead yourself, you give yourself a command and you stick to it. And it comes from your purpose and your heartfelt goal. You're loyal to your desires and passion. And, there's going to be times when you don't want to follow your commands, and that might be because you're making them too difficult. Things can be easier. You've got to imagine an easier outcome. And this is what Neville Goddard talks about in The Effortless Way, which is an amazing book. I urge you to read it, because we don't have to be in the struggle. We can come from that energy within and direct it towards what we want. If you're struggling, that's a sign that you've got to slow down. But the other day, I was talking about imagination. We have this wonderful gift in the imagination, and we don't use it to its full potential. So you can use your imagination and to direct the right outcome you want. And when we keep telling ourselves that, we can sort of direct and focus where we want to go. So you write out what you want, and then you start to really think about what that looks like. And after time, you'll start to really believe it. And just from there, you can watch how things become so much easier for you. But you've got to start with the thoughts. You've got to start thinking that this is possible, because it is. It totally is. You can change, definitely change. Once you change your perception, and that's all you have to do. It starts with the perception, and then you start to see, actually, this is totally possible. So, James Allen says in the book, As a Man Thinketh, which is a really good book as well. He says, calmness of mind is one of the most beautiful jewels of wisdom. And it's the result of long and patient effort in self-control. And then he goes on later to say, I've got it here, it says, even the ordinary trader will find his business prosperity increase as he develops a greater self-control and equanimity. For people will always prefer to deal with a man whose demeanour is equable. Equable? Is that right? Yeah, equable. And it's so true, isn't it? Isn't it amazing how when we're calm and we are in the right place, or we feel wonderful, how everything else is great? Isn't that? It's so true. But when we feel really rubbish, confused, out of sorts, the world goes into chaos. That's the perception. So throughout your day, start seeing how your perception changes in the days ahead. I'll add the article, the Serenity article in here too. It's just a short article, but please read it. It'll transform your perception and your days ahead. And if you read it every day, it will, I promise, it changes your perception, it changes everything. And then you're creating like this order in your mind, you're creating order in your life. And that's, especially with the home learning, it can be really tricky. But as long as you are this solid rock, then everything else is just balanced. We're creating that balance inside and transforming that outside. So thanks for joining me. Also, I just want to say I'd love you to join my Facebook group. There's lots more of inspiring thoughts and information. And if this resonates with you, then click the link below, and I'd love you to join us. So have a lovely Wednesday and a lovely week. It's the hump day, so it's nearly the weekend, and even though every day kind of looks like each other, but anyway, have a lovely day, and look after yourself. Bye.